welcome back to another fabulous video. Today we're going to be finishing up the early foundations portion of this session, and we're going to be looking at these early constitutions, legal codes, and legislative bodies, okay? So just to quickly recap, a constitution in general with a small c is going to be a document or some sort of plan that outlines what a government is going to be, how it's going to function, okay? Sometimes those constitutions can limit the government. Sometimes they're just like a skeletal outline for how the government's going to work, okay? And legislative bodies, remember, the legislative branch makes laws. Yes, oh yes, it does. So when we're talking about any sort of legislative body, we're talking about the law-making part of the government, okay? All right, so getting started here. The first early code that we want to look at, or the first early system of laws, is Hammurabi's Code. Now, Hammurabi, not Harambe, Hammurabi's Code was a system of strict justice, and it was developed, of course, by Hammurabi, who was a Mesopotamian ruler way back in the BC or CE time period. So Hammurabi's Code is extremely important because it established a system of strict justice, okay? And it was also a codified system, meaning that it was the same for everybody living within his area of influence or within his kingdom, okay? So that was a big deal. Next, we have Athenian Democracy, and we love Athenian Democracy, right? We've talked about this before. So Athenian Democracy, given to us by the ancient Athenians, Athens, of course. This was a direct democracy. So it's not the type of democracy that we have today. In this democracy, every citizen was able to vote on every issue, okay? Now, the requirements for what made you a citizen were a little more strict than what they are by our current standards, but every voting citizen could participate in government decision-making. Okay, next, of course, we have the Romans. So the Romans, of course, give us the idea of a republic, this idea that you elect people to make government decisions on your behalf. So the Roman Senate is an excellent example of a representative system. They weren't necessarily elected popularly by the people, but they were there to take part in government decision-making as representatives of the people. Next, we have the Mayflower Compact, and the Mayflower Compact was this document that was signed aboard the Mayflower, and it's important because it was the first written constitution in what became the United States. Of course, it wasn't the United States then, but it was the first written constitution, and it also gives us an example of representative government because the people there on the Mayflower, they are signing as representatives of their family, and it's also a great example of John Locke's social contract theory, the idea that people give up some of their rights. They gave up unlimited freedom to do whatever they wanted to in this new world in order to earn protection that they would gain by forming a government, okay? And last but not least, we need to look at the Virginia House of Burgesses. This was actually established in like 1619, so way before America became a thing. And this was the first elected legislature in what would eventually become the United States. So really important documents, legal codes, and legislative bodies. I will stop there for today. If you have any questions, let me know.